Discipline is a queen's devotion, the daily choice to honor her purpose, keep her crown steady, and stay committed to the empire she is building. Greetings, Royals, and welcome to Sovereign Sunday, Wisdom from the Throne. I'm Queen Tasha, and every week we gather here to remember who we truly are, not just in title, but in truth. This space is for rising queens to reclaim our power, realign with purpose, and embody the sacred attributes of sovereignty. In this 6-week series, we have explored the attributes of a queen, the qualities that form the foundation of true, soul-rooted, spirit-led power. These episodes are here to set the tone for what's to come as I guide, teach, and grow with you on this journey to rising into royalty and living fearlessly free. Last week, we explored patience, and today's last attribute is discipline. Let's explore what that really means and how it shows up on the path to living fearlessly free. So let's get into it. So let's get right into it, starting with the general definition of discipline, which is discipline is the practice of training oneself to act with consistency, focus, and self-control in pursuit of a higher vision. It's not punishment, but the structure that allows freedom and growth. And of course, the empowering or empowerment meaning. For a queen, discipline is sacred devotion. It is the commitment to your values, your healing, your growth, your dreams, and your reign. Discipline is the quiet force that turns intention into reality. It's not about perfection or cruelty to oneself. It's about showing up daily, even when you don't feel like it. A queen's discipline is how she proves to herself that her vision matters, her purpose is worth it, and her legacy is alive in her every choice. Discipline is devotion in action. Hashtag. And the expanded reflections. Discipline is self-love in practice. Discipline is consistency that crowns you, brick by brick, day by day. It is devotion to your higher self, not punishment of your present self. Without discipline, even the greatest vision will fade. With discipline, the queen builds, sustains, and reigns in power. So now we'll get into some quotes on discipline. So the first one is from Denzel Washington. Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. Will Smith, this is a long one. Dreams are built on discipline. Discipline is built on habit. Habits are built on training, and training takes place in every single second and every situation of your life. How you wash the dishes, how you drive a car, how you present a report or at school or at work, you either do your best all the time or you don't. It's the behavior. If the behavior has not been trained and practiced, then the switch will not be there when you need it. It's a good lesson, end quote. Octavia Butler says, forget inspiration. Habit is more dependable. Habit will sustain you whether you're inspired or not. Angela Duckworth says, enthusiasm is common, endurance is rare. And lastly, Jim Rohn. I picked 2 quotes from him. The first one is, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. And then he also says, discipline is just choosing between what you want now and what you want most. And what you want now is usually cake. Meaning what you want now is usually not good for you. It's to hold out, because what you want most is what's worth it. Anyways, so story time. So for me, a personal story on discipline that carried me further than my motivation. Last year, I challenged myself to do a monthly 48-hour water or herbal infusion fast. The reason why I challenged myself to that is because when I went to Colombia for my 40th birthday, I got a parasite from either ceviche or some fish that I ate. It was delicious. Both of them were delicious, but one of them had a parasite in it or something. And I experienced the parasite while I was there, so I was sick for like the second half of my trip. And then the rest of that year, which would have been 2023, I had weird bowel. And I was just like really concerned because I'm usually on top of my stuff. I do have regular bowel movements every single day, every morning. My bowel is like, all right, I processed everything you did yesterday. I'm ready for injection. Not injection. Ejection?
Well, this is way too much information.
Rejection? And it was just really interesting. And I'm all about poo. Like, I'm not going to go into it here on this channel. I'm all about poo. I have a whole company where I created a toilet. And it's because I'm interested in poo, sustainable waste options, and us being responsible for our own waste. But, as part of, the 12-month cycle that we participate in the Gregorian calendar, starting in January of 2024, I challenged myself, like I said, to do a 48-hour monthly fast. It was generally at the end of the month, but then I think it switched because I realized that like my cycle started linking with it, and that was no good because it made it really challenging. So I switched it up, and I think there was like 1 month that I missed, and so the following month, I think it was like June, because I did it at the end of the month in May or something, and I'd missed June, or I forgot in June, and then I did it twice in July, because July wasn't a long month, or maybe it was August, I can't remember, but I doubled up on 1 month, because I missed in 1 month. But other than that, I was consistent in doing that. There was some days that it was like so easy for me to do because I got into this mindset recently where I'm very challenged by doing dishes. I really don't like doing dishes. I really don't want to do it most days.
Hate it, hate it, hate it.
I realized that when I eat, I create dishes. So the 48-hour fasting was nice because I got to take a break from real dishes, like doing dishes. Now, obviously, I had a little bit of dishes from, making the herbal infusions and stuff like that or whatever. But for the most part, no dishes. I loved that too. I love that part of it too. But it was discipline in that because it was a discipline to taking care of my own health. I have made a commitment to myself to be in charge of my own health and wellness. I tried Western medicine for a good, let's say, 2/3 of my life, and they mostly failed me. So they're sometimes good at diagnosing things, you know. But other than that, their practices of wellness and such things did not align with me and my body no longer. So I decided, and they had no answers that made sense. My body was just like, in pain, chronic pain at one point, acne, no extra, all these things. And I used the interwebs, YouTube University, to do my own investigation, draw my own conclusions, and it led me down a path of a natural route. And so anytime something's going on within myself, I take it very seriously. I'm very disciplined in making sure that I am committed to my recovery and my own maintenance of health and wellness throughout my life, because if I'm not going to trust in other things, I have to trust in myself. So yeah, that I think did a lot of good things for my body, but I'm still struggling with issues with my bowels. So I'm still committed to trying to figure that out. I have not done any cleansing this year. This year it is month 9. It's gone by quick, for sure. But the other discipline, something that has kept me going throughout my whole journey, is my preparation to go to Mexico. Because it started with the decision for me to sell the Purple Palace. You all know me, if you're here because you know me, because I did a whole beginning of my channel with sharing my Purple Palace and my journey in the Purple Palace. And it was really hard for me to detach from it because it was the longest place that I've ever lived in as an adult. But I knew I couldn't take it to the next step. I had made a decision that I was ready to leave this country. Like, I'm gone. Like, I'm ready to go with somebody or not, or whatever. I didn't know what that was going to look like, but I was like, I'm ready to go. I want to move to Mexico. And when I made that decision, I was like, I can't take the Purple Palace with me. So that was the first step. And I have been disciplined to the process of detachment, moving forward, not looking back. Hopeful delusion. Trials and tribulations. But every lesson, every step has gotten me closer and closer, and now I am here. My discipline is paying off in my reality toward the goal, the vision that I wanted. I knew that it was going to take discipline, patience, resilience, grace, all the attributes of a queen to hold me together to get through this mission to exit this country as soon as possible. And I am grateful. I am super grateful. Like, there's an inner power within me. Some days I don't even know what's fueling it, to be honest. I feel empty most days, empty tank. But somehow I keep getting up and the car starts like an electric vehicle without having to need to be recharged. I don't know. But I just have held tight to the goal. Anybody that knows me, when I have a goal, and I have a vision for my life, and I want to make a change for myself, like, I'm super disciplined to that plan. Like, I am delusionally disciplined to that plan. I tell people about it. People know the goal. People know the plan. They're like, oh yeah,
either they believe in it because they know who I am and they know that when I talk about it, I be about it, I do what I say I'm gonna do.
It's about to go down.
It takes discipline to do that. You can't just talk about it. You gotta make steps. You gotta have focus. You gotta be disciplined to be about it. And that's just engraved in my soul. I don't know. I don't have any other way to explain it, because like I said, most days I don't know what's fueling it, because outside of my why, because it's important to have your why. But like, seriously, there's days that I'm just like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. But the important part is not to quit, because discipline requires struggle. Discipline requires focus. Sometimes there's no motivation. I haven't had really any motivation to want to do anything that's needed to get toward what I want to do. But I surpassed it, because the discipline of knowing of what the greater vision is what is allowed motivation not to matter. Because I have been, there is a project that I need to do before I leave to go to Mexico, which is just chip shape the door. I need to fix, put some new adhesive on the lock, the RV lock, because I jimmy rigged it with a hot glue gun, so it would just like stay in place. Like it's in there, like it's what do you call it? Screwed in there. It's just because it's fragile because of the door situation, and so I had to like kind of hot glue it so it wouldn't be wiggly. And now I'm gonna liquid nail it. But yeah, that has been on my list to do 4 months, and I'm gonna get it done. I had no motivation to do it. But I will get it done. It's getting done this weekend. So yeah. But anyways, I want to pass on some practical ways to embody discipline this week. So the first thing is sacred routines. Choose one daily ritual to honor this week. Whether that's journaling, meditation, movement, therapy, or rest. Make a commitment to that sacred practice and do it every day for the next week. Challenge yourself to be disciplined to something that you really need or want to do. For me, I would really love to take a nap every day. I'm going to make a commitment to that when I leave here on my journey down to Mexico. I am going to be siestaing the whole way down. I'm going to try to take a nap a couple times a week. I don't know. Sometimes I can't force myself to go to sleep, but there's days where my body is like, I'm about to reset on you, and I just either go to bed early or I'm just like dragging throughout the rest of the day, and I just tap out and I just like disassociate by, passive scrolling, doom scrolling, or playing a little game or something on my phone. So choose a daily ritual to honor. The next thing would be small wins. Set one micro goal each day this week and keep it, no matter how small. And that's a habit tracker. So I would say take one of these sacred routines, journaling, meditation. If you have a planner that has a habit tracker in it, cool. If not, just write it out in your planner, like a little box that has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A little check box, and then you put at the top journaling. And then each day that you do it, you reward yourself a little check. That's a small win. I love being able to mark things off of my list. Like, it brings me joy to be like, I did it. Done. Now I put things on a dry erase board, because then I can erase it. It's written down somewhere if I remember what it was that I did. But like, I love having it on a dry erase board now, because I can erase it when it's done forever. But also in my journal or my daily planner, it does have a section where it says like, what will you do to celebrate if you accomplish your goals for this week? And sometimes I write stuff in, like I'll buy myself something nice from Amazon, something from my Amazon wish, or, something like that. But it doesn't have to be that extravagant. Like, it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm going to buy myself something because I deserve it, because I did what I said I was going to do, kind of thing. Like, it could be, I'm going to take a nap, or I'm going to order a pizza. Well, that's still buying stuff. I love pizza.
I fucking love pizza.
I'm in a pizza phase right now. I remember when I was in an avocado toast phase. But anyways, I digress. But find something to reward yourself with. I love rewarding myself with like an extra smoke for the day. Or like having a glass of wine for the day, Like, cheers to me, I did it. Something like that, The next thing is self-accountability. Discipline requires accountability. You need to, if you are not already somebody who's self-disciplined or somebody who can hold themselves accountable with enough shame and guilt that they will do something. But if not, it's important to speak your commitments out loud or write them down, and also tell a friend. When you tell someone, there's also another motivation that I've learned. That happens with pain, what happens with discipline is social pressure. If you tell somebody you're going to do something, it creates psychological thing in your brain, like a social pressure for you to commit to doing it, because you either don't want to let people down or you want to prove people right, whatever it is. So if you tell a friend, like, I'm about to do this every day, and you speak it out loud. Maybe you go on social media. That's another way. If you don't want to tell a friend, tell social media. Get on social media in your stories or on a reel and be like, this week I'm going to do da-da-da-da-da. Doing that mentally makes you feel like you have to do it. I remember last year when I did my dance challenge in August, which I had 31 days. And I had to be committed to doing it because I'm self-disciplined, so I naturally can hold myself accountable to my own goals. However, I do respond to social pressure. Like, if I say I'm going to do something, especially on social media, if I tell somebody out loud on my YouTube channel or on social media that I'm going to do something, best believe it's about to get done, okay? Even if it's delayed. Even if it's delayed by a lot. By a lot, okay? It's going to get done.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it.
By me. So yeah, tell a friend, tell social media to hold yourself accountable if you're not somebody who's naturally self-disciplined. But speak it out loud. Speak it out loud to yourself. To the mirror, speak it out loud to yourself in the mirror. Like, these are ways to build that type of self-accountability. And lastly, devotion shift. So reframe discipline as an act of self-love, not restriction. So if you reframe discipline as devotion to yourself versus a restriction of something, then you're switching the mind frame to enjoying it, to doing it without resistance. You're creating that mind frame that your body and your soul will not, won't create resistance when you're trying to do whatever it is you need to do that's hard or challenging, that need it to get to your goals. So yeah. Now we are going to get into a oracle card pull. Today's deck, I am going back to our magic magical mermaids and dolphins. I love dolphins and mermaids. I'm realizing that I think I'm an animal, water animal. A lot of us are. I won't get into that, but because I breathe weird. I breathe weird. Like my body doesn't want to breathe the way the world tells us the way we should breathe. Diaphragm and all that stuff. I almost want to breathe like a fish. Anyways, I digress. So in today's card pull, I want to ask this oracle, where am I being called to commit more fully and align with discipline? What message, insight can you provide on how I can align more with discipline, how we all can align more with discipline? I'm self-disciplined, and there's things that I really have to beat myself up to do, and sometimes I don't do it, like the dishes. Like, my commitment to not having dirty dishes overnight so I don't attract roaches is very important to me. But some days I really don't want to do the dishes, and I don't care about any of that, and I don't. I wake up and do it in the morning. I don't want to sit all day or anything like that the next day. But sometimes I pass out because I crash out. Because the reset needs to happen, and my body's like, time to go. Fuck them dishes. But yeah, so where are we being called to commit more fully and align with discipline? I feel like I want to do an off the top of deck. I'm just shuffling a little bit just to give the right card a chance to float the towel. All right, here we go. What do we got? Dream big. Oh, I like it's a brown girl in here, and she's in the water. Let go of small thoughts about yourself. See yourself succeeding. Yes, I said. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't she beautiful? It's hard to tell if she's a mermaid or just a beautiful black girl. Probably a mermaid, because I would assume most of the things in this deck, I haven't looked at all the pictures, but so let's see. This is alphabetical order, so okay. It's a short message. So let's see what it is. Oops. In the past, you may have seen yourself as insignificant. This card asked you to release any thoughts or feelings of inferiority. Truly believe that you are utterly qualified for an endeavor you can dream about. Write down a list of your fears about moving forward, and then drown those fears by putting the paper into a bucket or large bowl of water. Then take a cleansing shower, bath, or swim. The water seals your new way of seeing yourself as you are in truth and equal to all other children of God. I love that ritual. I definitely agree with a water ritual. I am definitely going to take part in that as well. Just drowning out the last few fears, doubts, or anything that is resonating from other projections of people of fear on my plan. Put that and write that down. I'm gonna write all that stuff down, put it in a bucket, drown it, and then take a cleansing shower or jump in the ocean when I get to Mexico. Oh man, I'm just gonna jump in the ocean. I can't wait to get to the beach. It's been so long since I've been in my happy place to recharge. I'm headed straight for the beach, like straight for the beach when I get to Mexico. It's either going to be on the first day or the second day, depending on how long the crossing takes and how long I want to drive and how long my stop is in the midway point. As I start to go south, I know that, and daylight savings is going to happen in this part of the world. It doesn't happen in Arizona, which is nice. But it can happen in the rest of the world. And I'm going to be changing time zones again. So it's like, as I go down, it's going to get dark earlier because it's already getting dark earlier. And I like to get to my spot way before it's going to get dark so that I can park, set up, make sure it's good, no creepers, no nothing. And then I can relax and chill. So I like to do that way in advance before it gets dark. And as I go further, closer to the equator in the mid part of the world, it starts to get dark earlier. So each on day 1 or day 2, morning of day 2. Sounds more like it, but I'm excited. I'm excited that my discipline is paying off and that I am about to step into the next level or brighter, I would say just next level of my goal. Like, this isn't the end goal, but this was the bigger picture that I needed to get to surpass. I don't know why my brain, I think I have an old programming from the Matrix. I'm stuck in Sega Genesis mode. Like, I don't know when I went into that alternate reality, if I stepped into that, like when I was playing, because I almost never played. I was always watching because I was not really good at it. But what I did know about that game, and I've said this before in other videos about levels, is that you continuously go through the same level until you conquer the little, you get to the end without, and if you don't, you have to keep going, you have to keep starting over. And that's life. Like, you have to keep repeating the same lesson to move to the next level, right? And in each level of the game, it was 3 tiers before you got to level where you had to fight the monster to get to the next level, right? And when I was playing Sega Genesis, there was no memory card. So you would just play all day to try to get as far as you could. Not me. My cousins, my sisters and brothers and stuff would play all day to get as far as they could because there was no way to save it. So once you got to where you want, you had to start all over. But you started practicing. It became habit, and you're like, okay, I know how to pass this level really quick, so I can get back to where I was really quick because I know all the tricks, right? So anytime you stumble and you fall back, you learn from your lessons and you stay committed to getting as far as you can past the game, because the ultimate goal is to win the game. To win the game, right? You're gonna get stuck on levels. There's gonna be levels where you just can't get past it. But when you get to that monster, where that's where I feel like I'm at now. I feel like I conquered a lot of monsters this year. I had to beat that monster. Woo! The monster of the mindset, the monster of the financial lack, monster of the struggle of what was going on with my dog, the monster of of the heat baking us here in this place. So many things. I felt like I was just but I finally feel like I passed that level. And when that little poof happens, when the monster dies, I'm right there. I'm right there at the border. All I have to do is pass the border, and that part of the game wins. And then it's like, okay, what's the next thing? There's going to be a whole nother thing that I have to learn once I get to Mexico about what I'm going to do to survive. How am I going to stay there long term? Do I want to stay there long term? What part of Mexico do I want to stay in? Because there's several states like there is here. Right now I'm headed to Puerto Vallarta, and that's where I feel like I want to end up. But I have friends in Merida, which are on the east coast part of Mexico, and I'm thinking I might want to check that out too. I like the east coast part of Mexico, but I have been there and done that, so that's why I want to check out this part. I don't have any interest in going to Baja, so don't ask. I don't ever want to see a desert or a cactus. As soon as I pass that part of Mexico, that will be the real win, is passing that part of Mexico. But anyways, I digress on that. that's how I see like life right now, I guess. It's like a Genesis game. Just like each level, I keep going back and relearning lessons. In your 20s, you can't like you stay on one level for a very long time before you pass the second level. In your 30s, things get accelerated because you have muscle memory of how you don't want to keep committing the same atrocities and getting, you know. Some people don't. Sometimes, and for men, it takes way longer. Sorry, guys. For women, it depends on where they're at in their, or what happened during their Saturn return, number one. Did they have their existential crisis that allowed them to see to become self-aware, to see things that they needed to work on and see things that they're great at and start to continue to excel at that and master that. Some people don't realize that and for a very long time, and they struggle for even longer. For me, I did. So, but yeah, like I feel like I'm about to hit the next level. I don't know what level that is. You know, I feel like I'm like level 6, maybe in life. Probably level 4, really, if you chronologically do. At level 4 in the 40 section, there's a couple, you know, levels in 40, and then you get to 50, and you're good. But thank you to this beautiful oracle for providing this message and mission of drowning your fears, drowning the things that are keeping you from discipline in the water. The water is a transformational thing that you should be using to alchemize your life. I am doing my best to practice that as well. Speaking to water, drinking it, speaking good things, listening to transformational music while you're in the shower, and speaking to it, singing with it. You sing in the shower, it's a powerful thing, but you need to make sure you're speaking good things. Otherwise, you know, you don't want to be in there singing. Anyways, I digress. Lastly, the next thing I want to get into is our affirmation for the week. That closes out our discipline lesson today, which is, I honor my discipline as devotion to my highest good. Each choice I make builds the empire of my dreams. Through consistency and commitment, I crown myself daily. I move with alignment, focus, and royal purpose, knowing that every brick I lay strengthens my queendom. So take that with you. Pause, write that down, screenshot it, because I will put it up on the screen. And take that with you for this week and for the close of our series. And lastly, some journal prompts or discussion in the comments. First question would be, where in your life are you being asked to stay consistent? And for me, it's movement. It's moving my body to get back into this goal that I've been having to return to dancing and get back into my dance life and my dance body. And I have to condition myself because I haven't really been doing nothing. So when I say nothing, you know, I move, I work out. There was a whole year during that, like when I was fasting, where I wasn't consistently moving, but I was taking care of my body. But for me, movement, getting ripped, working out in the way that like fuels my body. But most importantly, preparing my body to get back into dancing regularly, because I done just bought some stuff. I put some money on it. I bought some new ballroom shoes, some jazz shoes, and I've really been trying to stay disciplined to that goal, little by little, brick by brick. But that's what's being called in my life to stay consistent in, because it's not important to anybody else, but it is important to me. It's not important for money or goals, but it is important to my inner child, my inner teenager. This is very important to them for me to stay consistent with that. Next question. How would your reality shift if you treated discipline as devotion to yourself? Right? Self-discipline, even the word discipline scares people because discipline also has an alternative definition that's used to punish, in a sense. We use it in the context of children, like we need to discipline our children. And if we go back up to the general definition of discipline, practice of training oneself to act with consistency, focus, and self-control in the pursuit of a higher vision. If you switch that and you add children into that definition, it would be practice training your children to act with consistency, focus, and self-control. Nowhere does that say, you know what I'm saying? Like, discipline looks different for every, parent, when using it in that context. So it has to have a scary, context when you're trying to apply it to yourself. But if you reframe that into, or shifting your mind set to treat discipline as devotion to self or self-love or self-care, that's showing up for yourself. That's treating yourself with love, kindness, support when nobody else is going to do that for you. You have to do that for yourself. Next, when you say you can't do something, ask yourself why in that moment. A lot of people get stuck within their own self. They get to a challenge and then programming or experience comes as a security guard for that, like at TSA. And it's saying, hey, last time this happened. No, you don't want to do that, right? And you have to push through that. And in that moment, ask yourself why. Why is your body resisting this? Why is your mind telling you not to do this? Why are you giving yourself an excuse to not show up for yourself? Ask yourself why. Now, you don't have to act on that at that moment, but ask yourself why. Get in the habit of asking yourself why your body is rejecting something, why your mind is resisting something that you want for yourself. You want to lose weight. If you want to get a new job, if you want to leave this country, but there's things that keep coming up for you that are not allowing you to push past that barrier. There's a filter. There's that security guard that's coming up and saying, you can't do that. You got too many kids. Or you can't do that because you don't know. Or you can't afford healthy food. Or whatever the excuse is. Like, challenge that why. Challenge that why this week. And journal about that. Journal about it. Write it down when it comes up so you can remember it. See how many times. You would be surprised. There's a lot of things that will come up for you. A lot. And you'll get in the habit of rejecting it. Rejecting something you want that you think could be possible for you. But you're rejecting it because of programming or projection of fear from somebody else or from social programming. And that's not you. You want it, but you are allowing somebody else's thoughts to not allow you to have it. The next thing would be, what crown are you building, or what empire are you building brick by brick through your habits? What empire are you building brick by brick through your habits? For me, I'm really trying to be consistent on my channel. I do hope that the algorithm treats me nice one day. We all hope for that. Really, I'm doing this because I'm showing up for myself, showing up for the people that need this, showing up for the collective of queens in the future who are going to need a message. All of that. It's not for YouTube. It's not for the Matrix. It is ultimately, my empire isn't all about money. It is about spiritual empowerment, spiritual growth, collective growth, collective consciousness and giving back. That is part of my empire. And my habits are training myself to be consistent toward those things. And this Queen series is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. And not just like the attributes of a queen, and, like that's where I, figure out where I wanted to start, but just imparting my wisdom in a formal way, and transforming my channel to match what I want to present. Because yes, RV life is a part of my life, and I do love sharing that, and I did really enjoy sharing that at the beginning of this channel, and that's how I attracted a lot of people here. But it isn't something that I want to continue to do, because it's not something that I will continue to do. RV life is going to come to an end soon, at some point, and then I'll go on to boat life, and maybe the channel will be about that. Who knows? But I've always felt kind of awkward and weird about vlogging. I think it's just because it's not, I don't mind being the center of attention if somebody wants to follow me around with a camera, but me as a person in the production and creation of content of what I wanted to share was not vlogging and doing all this stuff. Here and there, yes, because I do want to have a digital file of my experience, digital or video or digital compilation of my experience that I just had, traveling to Mexico, preparing for Mexico. That's something that I want to be able to look back on. So yes, I'm going to vlog about that because I'm interested. But everyday vlogging of my RV life, I'm not that interesting. Really just I'm talking to myself all day, and doing stuff with my dogs and trying to survive my mental health, that kind of thing. And doing all the things that I want to try to do, which is too much stuff. I'm always trying to do too much. And I don't know. It may be interesting if somebody wanted to follow me around, but it's not interesting to me to want to capture that for the enjoyment or entertainment of other people. What I want to share is my queen wisdom, my, empowerment that has naturally come to me through natural order of selection. I don't know. No, but just ancestral and probably karmic wisdom to come to here to teach. That's one thing that I know is part of my purpose, is to guide and teach. And I believe it is queens to rise. The matriarch is coming, the patriarchy system that exists on this planet, that has ruled on this planet for so long, is falling, it's crumbling. It's no longer going to exist very soon. And we need women to realize that they are divine. They are the divine. We are supposed to be the rulers. Men are supposed to be the protectors, the guiders, the resourcers of things, but not the leader of things. They don't know that. They don't take all in part of when they're making decisions. They're best in their attributes of divine masculine, and that is not leadership, unfortunately for them. That was imparted upon us, and we allow them to rob that from us. And it's not about all just women leading. It's about restoring order, and divine feminine, which is bestowed about women, is what needs to come and restore that balance. So the last thing that I want to share for your journal or discussion prompts would be, who in your life embodies discipline in a way that inspires you? It could be me. I'm hoping it's me. But find somebody. It's good to have mentors, even if they don't know they're your mentor. Looking up to somebody. You're gonna be on social media doom scrolling. Follow some people on there that inspire you. So you're seeing what they do. You're seeing the actions they're taking to get to their goals. You are becoming familiar with something that you want to attain. If you see that it's possible through somebody that you relate to, especially, it's not somebody that's just somebody you glamour or idolize, but it's somebody you relate to, somebody that you think that is like you, it will inspire you to make shifts and changes in your mindset, because now you're programming yourself through the matrix to see what it is that you want to have in your life. So figure out who that person is who embodies discipline and keep an eye on them. Well, that's all for discipline.
Thank you for joining me on this journey through my first Sovereign Sunday series, The Attributes of a Queen. If you missed it, we've explored sovereignty, discernment, resilience, grace, patience, and now discipline. These are the foundations of your crown. Remember, the reign is yours, but it begins with soul-rooted, spirit-led power. Stay tuned for what's coming up next on Sovereign Sunday from Mexico. There will be some live sessions of wisdom and more curated series to inspire my fellow queens to rise. Until next time, stay royal, stay rising, and live fearlessly free. Ashe.